Welcome to SSFL Premiership Division.
All right, welcome back to the SportsMax Zone. Still with football, and now we go to sweet TNT for the latest in the Secondary Schools Football League Coca-Cola Intercol Zonal Semifinals. Well, our SportsMax production team was on location at the Atterbolden Stadium for action from the Central Zone semifinals on Monday. Miracle Ministries is the team that finished bottom of the table in the Premiership and got relegated, pulled off a huge win, knocking out Presentation College Chaguanas 5-0 with double strikes from Aaron Clement and Keon Contrenton. Let's hear from both coaches now.
From minute 1 to minute 90, we know we're the underdogs in the game. All I could say is I'm really proud of the team out there, a young squad. Most of them are under the age of 17, so they put their heart out there today. I'd also like to say a thank you to the supporters that came out and had our backs there from the beginning to the end.
I think the boys are very happy as well because we needed this today. Came out and we played hard and we fought for it and we got it. We started the game really slow, I think, and my team talk at the halftime was, hey, let us start stringing passes together. Let's let the ball work a little bit more, and it resulted in a bit of more attack and success in the second half.
In the other semi-final, Chaguanas North Secondary defeated Carapichaima East Secondary 3-1 on penalties after ending goalless at full time. Let's take the reactions now of the coaches.
This season they need to believe in themselves, and it manifests itself totally tonight. Right? During the halftime interval, we tried to fix the problems we were facing in the midfield. We rectified it, and hence the reason we didn't concede anything in the second half.
I think we were a bit unlucky not to finish the game within the first 90, and it reached down to penalties, and from there it's anybody's game.
All right, the semi-final action continued today in the Tobago Zone. Signal Hill 1-0 against Bishop's High and Speyside High, a 0-0 draw against Scarborough. Well, Brent Sancho was in commentary for yesterday's Central Zone doubleheader, and he joins us now for a review. Brent, thanks so much for joining us. Let's start with that Miracle Ministries win over Presentation College Chaguanas.
Hey, hello, Maria, and of course, Lance and all your different viewers on the different platforms. Yeah, it was an interesting game for the first part of it, probably first 15-20 minutes. Presentation College certainly was very resolute and well organized in the way that they try to go about their business. But as they say, the cream rises to the top. Miracle Ministries, a team that was just recently relegated from the Premiership division, albeit, of course, they're the only Central Zone team that was in the Premiership division. So there was a high expectation that they would go on to win the title at the Central Zone level in Intercol. And they showed that pedigree more so in the second half, where they started to pick things up a lot. And it's interesting, Mariah, because I did speak to the captain at the half, Tariq Thomas of Miracle Ministries, and he said to me that we are a bit complacent in the way we have done things in the first half. And that being said, we saw a lot better second half performance by Miracle Ministry, and it was all comprehensive by the end of the 90 minutes.
Yeah, really interesting stuff from both teams. Brent, I have to ask you about Presentation College Chaguanas and what went wrong for that team, because I mean 5 goals in that match, none went to Presentation College Chaguanas. For a second when we got the script, I had to check because I just saw Presentation College and I'm like, is this Presando? But then I said, oh no, it's Pres Chaguanas. But what went wrong?
Yeah, and speaking of Coach Alexander, he mentioned the fact that they had a non-existent preseason. They didn't have much of a first half of the season. Obviously, they're applying their trade in the Central Zone, which is the division below the Premiership. But they did have an upset victory against Carapichaima West Secondary, 3-2, a team that they lost during the regular season, 9-0 and 6-0. So there were signs of improvement for Presentation College. But I think the Miracle Ministry assignment was just way too much for them. Of course, as I mentioned, Miracle Ministry is a team that has recently demoted from the Premiership. I just think that was a mountain a little bit too high for the good men from Presentation College to climb.
Yeah, and one of that second match there, Brent, that was covered. with Carapichaima East losing to Chaguanas North.
Yeah, that was an interesting one, Lance, I must say, because at the end of the day, Carapichaima East came as a favorite. They're currently embroiled in the promotion battle against 4 other teams. And they are sitting quite pretty and may have an opportunity to be promoted into the Premiership Division next season. However, Chaguanas North, again, another situation where Chaguanas North would have lost, of course, would have lost before to this team, to Carapichaima East twice coming into this fixture. Speaking of the coach, he did mention of Chaguanas North, that is, he did mention that he feels today was their day. They did ride their luck a bit, must be said. And of course, their goalkeeper, who was eventually awarded man of the match, did have to pull off a couple very, very fine saves in regulation time. And of course, he made some saves, as we can see in the penalty shootout. But I think really and truly, if it was to be assessed to the detail, I would say, Lance, that Carapichaima East really were the architects of their own demise. They had numerous chances to put the ball in the back of the net, and they weren't able to do that.
Yeah, Mariah is going to check with you on, or maybe give an update of one of the matches that is currently ongoing at the moment. But just a side story, how close are we to getting a ruling on the St. Benedict's SSFL Premiership Championship title? Because we know that they were under investigation for Zoom Garcia and his eligibility or lack thereof. How soon are we to getting a ruling on that?
Well, there's a meeting set for Thursday between the SSFL and disciplinary committee and St. Benedict's College. They have different sides of the stories coming out from the various camps as it relates to this decision. I think, Lance, when you look at it, most I have spoken to have suggested that whatever penalties are to be deducted or of course, adjudged to St. Benedict's College should be tacked on at the start of next season. It's simply because, as you know, the winners of the league sit in the first seed as it relates to Coca-Cola Intercol, and it will have a tremendous amount of impact as it relates to where we are right now. For one situation, it will have an impact as to the teams that are relegated, because if he is to be adjudged to be a non-bona fide student, it means points, if it is deducted, will have an impact as it relates to the teams are relegated, and that will have certainly some sort of something that would be more than what it is. And of course, if he is to be adjudged to be a non-bona fide student, then the Intercol series will have an impact as well, because the teams are seeded as it relates to their ability to play in this Intercol. The top seed, or the teams that are higher up in the table in Premiership, are given a top seed ranking, and all of that would have been skewed if this is to come. So I think the most sensible way to deal with it, if anything is to come out of it, and if anything is to be found as it relates to Zoom Garcia, should be tacked on to next season. That is what most is saying here in Trinidad and Tobago.
Yeah, well, we wait to find out that, Brent. We will be keeping a close eye, and as soon as you find out, please let us know. We're going to turn now to the East Zone semifinals. That takes center stage on Wednesday at the Arima Velodrome. Arima North Secondary will do battle with Trinity College at 3:30 p.m., 2:30 in Jamaica, while San Juan North Secondary versus El Dorado East Secondary will begin at 5:30 p.m. local time, 4:30 if you're in Jamaica. Brent, can you just give us your expectations from these clashes?
Yeah, it would be an interesting one, because Arima North Secondary spent most of the season, of course, being undefeated and sat there alongside St. Benedict's College for most of the season, until their last couple of games. They lost 2 games in a row, one to Fatima College and one to Speyside. And all of a sudden, there might be some thoughts that all is probably not well at Arima. However, they've had their wins as it relates leading into this competition. But coming into it from a Trinity College East perspective, of course, they are flirting with relegation from the Premiership. How good a redemption would it be to beat Arima North and get into the finals? Of course, these 2 teams have met last season before. And of course, for San Juan North, a really disappointing season for them as it relates to the pedigree that they've shown in the Premiership division, finishing mid-table. they have a chance of redemption as well. And of course, that upset that took place for El Dorado East Secondary against St. Augustine, they would be coming in at favorites. I think it would be two exciting games. It'll be interesting to see how it goes. As we all know, Coca-Cola Intercal has provided its vast number of upsets throughout its history. So don't rule it out tomorrow. And there is a possibility.
Yeah, looking forward for those exciting storylines. Brent Sancho, thank you so much for stopping by on the SportsMax Zone. Talk again soon.
Thanks, guys. Have a great one.
All right, break time. Brent Sancho there, our football analyst.